Welcome. On behalf of the Fairfield Area Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to welcome you to our Manufacturers Appreciation Luncheon. Today, we gather to celebrate and honor the incredible contributions that our local manufacturers make to the Fairfield community and beyond. This event is at no cost to our manufacturers, thanks to our outstanding sponsors. Presenting sponsors, Carl A. Nelson and Company and Weaton Companies, our program sponsor, Dexter Laundry, and our decor sponsor, SurfPro. Thank you for supporting this event and allowing us an opportunity to show love and appreciation to these great organizations. Please join me in welcoming Lori Schaefer Weaton, President of Agri-Industrial Plastics, right here in Fairfield. Lori is a second-generation leader who has carried forward her family's legacy while steering AIP into future with innovation, sustainability, and people-first approach. Under her leadership, AIP has become a model for modern manufacturing and a pillar of our community. Please help me in welcoming Lori.
Okay, I was a little nervous there because I didn't know I had to come up here. Well, welcome everyone to this event. So we've spent the last month of October is officially National Manufacturing Month, and Iowa has really done a fabulous job this year with the Elevate RV Tour that came through Fairfield. We're all super proud of our manufacturing backbone here in Fairfield. And so this little video, for those people who haven't seen it, summarizes that tour around the state and also highlights the role of ABI, which is the Iowa Association of Business and Industry. And their role initially started 100 plus years ago as the Iowa Manufacturing Association. We have a lot of long-term members in this room of ABI, and we have been really lucky to partner with this organization for a long time. I see people like Pete Nelson and Dick Smith, who served on the board back in the day, as well as Nate Weaton and many others who have been very active with ABI. So let's just tee up the video.
It's always been exciting to me to be a part of an organization that leans into and celebrates the manufacturing space. So to celebrate the spirit, we invite you and the rest of our fellow Iowans along on what we hope to be a fantastic week celebrating with the first RV tour through manufacturing.
I would like to recognize the leadership at ABI whose engagement and investment in the association, their businesses, and communities make Iowa the place it is today.
I would like to recognize some dignitaries in the room before we move forward. Supervisor Joe Ledger, Mayor Connie Boyer, and State Representative Jeff Shipley. Thank you for joining us today. Manufacturing is not only the foundation of our local economy, it represents the strength, innovation, and determination that define Fairfield. Our manufacturers create good jobs, drive growth, and help our community continue to thrive. Today, we want to express our sincere gratitude to each and every one of you. Thank you for your commitment to excellence, for supporting local families, and for playing such a vital role in Fairfield's success. But your impact reaches beyond the products that you make. You bring opportunity, awareness, and pride to our community. Many of the wonderful things that we enjoy in Fairfield exist because of your investment and your dedication. On behalf of the Chamber and the entire community, thank you. We appreciate you, we celebrate you, and we hope you feel the gratitude of a town that truly values all that you do. It is my honor to introduce Mayor Connie Boyer and Fairfield Manufacturing Association, Nate Weaton from Weaton Companies, to present the proclamation declaring October as Manufacturers Month.
Sure. Whereas the manufacturers of industrial goods and services in the city of Fairfield have played a major role in creating a solid foundation of commerce in the city of Fairfield for over 100 years, and whereas the men and women employed within the manufacturing workforce constitute a substantial impact on the economy and growth of this community, and the state of Iowa has more than 4,000 manufacturing companies and accounts for $35 billion in Iowa's economy and 17% of GDP growth. Whereas Iowa manufacturing firms supply more than 222,000 jobs with an average annual wage of $74,639 and representing more than 14% of the state's total employment. Whereas the products and services from these firms are exported throughout the international marketplace, and these operations continue to satisfy an even broader base of products distribution. And whereas the citizens of Fairfield, Iowa, are proud of the work ethic within this community and wish to recognize it. Whereas the retention and growth of our manufacturing sector is a major part of our overall community economic strategy. Now therefore, be it resolved, I, Connie Boyer, Mayor of the City of Fairfield, Iowa, proclaim that the month of October as Fairfield Manufacturers Month and salute the members of the Fairfield Manufacturers Association for their dedication to our community to provide the jobs necessary to sustain our economy and for their contributions to the quality of life of our city. Thank you very much. I would just also like to highlight a couple other statistics, that Iowa's 17% GDP is 5th in the nation. I think that's worth shouting about. And Jefferson County has 36 manufacturers employing 800 people. And our contributions, over $112 million in GDP for the state. So I think those are great stats, and thank you all manufacturers who are making that happen for our city.
It is now my pleasure to introduce a leader who embodies the spirit of Fairfield's business community. Nate Weaton is the president and CEO of Weaton Companies, a family-owned organization built on hard work, integrity, and innovation. Under his leadership, Weaton Companies has continued to grow while remaining deeply committed to Fairfield and its people. Please join me in welcoming Nate Weaton.
Good afternoon. Is an hour short enough? Because I think that's probably about what it would take to introduce you the right way. She asked me to keep it short. I will start by saying, on behalf of the entire manufacturing community, I should have said this earlier as Connie recognized us, a huge thank you goes out not just to the employees that we employ and team members that we employ in any one of our businesses, but the numbers of partners and legislators and people that actually do the work to support us in doing what we do in each day. There's just a huge thank you that needs to go out to you. And so we're honored to have everybody in this room to support manufacturing, which is a big deal for all of us in the manufacturing sector. Just like this great state of Iowa, manufacturing is the backbone of our local community. And so it's just an honor to stand up here today and represent all the manufacturers in our great community. A larger honor is certainly being able to introduce our speaker and dignified guest, I guess is maybe the best way to put it, although she wouldn't introduce herself that way. Governor Reynolds was gracious enough to accept the invitation to come and speak with us today. She is a true champion for business and manufacturing. Governor Reynolds, since taking office, has worked tirelessly to make Iowa one of the best states in the nation to live, work, and build a business. Her leadership has delivered pro-growth tax reforms, reduced regulatory burdens for business, and expanded workforce initiatives that directly strengthen our manufacturing sector. Governor Reynolds understands that manufacturing is the backbone of Iowa's economy, and she is committed to ensuring our state remains a place where innovation, investment, and opportunity thrive. She is a champion for Manufacturing 4.0, which is the roadmap that will help Iowa manufacturers stay competitive in the fourth industrial revolution. Certainly the focus on automation, smart technology, and new strategies. She is the champion for most recent tax reduction for businesses and individuals across the great state of Iowa. And she has showcased her commitment to being fiscally responsible with the Iowa Doge Tax Force, which she's been recognized not enough at the state level, but certainly at the national level, which you much deserve. Above all these accolades, she won't believe that I actually wrote this myself. Above all the accolades, I think the best thing is everybody in this room can call Governor Reynolds a friend. We appreciate you, so please help me in welcoming Governor Kim Reynolds.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, this is a great turnout, so thank you for letting me join you and spend a little bit of time with you. I'll try to keep my remarks brief. That should always make you nervous when an elected official or somebody holding office says they're going to keep their remarks brief, because it never happens. But truly, mine are, because I really want to take this opportunity to hear from you. I'm sorry I'm dressed so casually. We're doing roundtables across the state. One of the few tax reforms that we're still working on is property tax reform. And so we are meeting with communities and businesses and in schools and hospitals and just whoever, farmers all across the state, just actually talking about how we can think differently about how we deliver services to Iowans and how we can hopefully at some point still be effective in providing those services, but bring that cost down. So if it was easy, it would have been done a long time ago, but we're really, I think it's the expectation, first of all, of Iowans that we get something done, and I know we have a legislature that's committed to really focusing on providing some kind of relief this next legislative session. But Nate, I just want to say thanks for that kind introduction. Lori and Nate have been friends for a really long time, so I just appreciate your kind words. A big thanks to you and to Carl A. Nelson and Company, Dexter Laundry, for sponsoring this annual event, and a thank you to Fairfield Chamber of Commerce for organizing it. It takes everybody to make wonderful events like this happen. And it truly is, I kind of said it at the start, but it's wonderful to see so many of our local businesses and community leaders gathered to really recognize one of Iowa's greatest strengths, and that is our manufacturers. Earlier this month, I had the opportunity to join ABI to kick off Manufacturing Month. I think maybe the RV is here today, and the Elevate Iowa Manufacturing Tour, because we're always talking about workforce, but really showcasing, I think, the career opportunities that exist in manufacturing across our state, and really highlighting the importance of this vital sector to our economy. You know this, manufacturing is Iowa's largest sector, representing nearly 18% of our GDP and supporting over 200,000 jobs across the state. But I think the bigger story is that the behind those numbers, the real stories, and that's stories of innovation, that's stories of family-owned businesses and hardworking men and women who every day show up and take pride in making things that matter. My dad worked for John Deere for 40 years. We lived in St. Charles, Iowa. He drove to Ankeny every day and back. And so, manufacturing was a huge part of our life and our family. In fact, his dad and most of his uncles and brothers actually worked there too. So we have been a manufacturing family for a really long time, and he farmed on top of that. And growing up in a small community, I was involved in everything. I know you'll find that hard to believe, but I don't think he missed out on any of the events. But from precision equipment to advanced materials to everyday products, Iowa manufacturers are proving that world-class quality and small-town values truly go hand in hand. And I am really proud of my administration's efforts to really support and most importantly, partner with each and every one of you. Nate kind of hit on some of these things, but Debbie has has done a great job implementing Manufacturing 4.0. We've done 2 or 3 different rounds. We're still talking about opportunities to continue something like that. To people and infrastructure, we're working really hard to create an environment where your businesses can grow and, most importantly, can compete. We've cut personal income taxes. When I took office, it was nearly 9%. This year, January 1, we went to 3.8% flat tax. We've addressed corporate just this last legislative session. Working with the legislature, we took on and passed a bill to address unemployment insurance taxes. Thanks for helping us get that across the finish line. That's about $1 billion savings to small, medium, and large companies over 5 years, so those things matter. We've really looked at the regulatory environment. I set up a red tape review, and already in 18 months, we've removed over 4,000 regulations from the code, and we're continuing to review that. So we've got a 5-year rolling review that will be put in place to make sure they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, and there's no unintended consequences. We've expanded workforce training programs and strengthened partnerships between our schools, our community colleges, and industry. I'm also proud to say, because we know the sooner that we start with these kids and these students to show them the incredible opportunities that exist in manufacturing, the wonderful careers that they are, we need to start sooner rather than later, and we've expanded participation in high school work-based learning programs by 76% since 2023. And so we're getting in front of them as soon as we can. And I think the other really positive side of that is they're in our businesses, our local businesses, and so they're staying in our communities, and that helps our schools, and that helps our hospitals and our main streets and our businesses. So it's a win-win to get in front of these students early. And when we talk about keeping the next generation in Iowa, about giving them reasons to build their lives and their families here, I want you to know that advanced manufacturing is just at the center of that vision and those conversations that we have. So to our Fairfield manufacturers, I just want to say thank you, and it's a heartfelt thank you for all that you do to drive innovation, to create opportunity, and really to keep Iowa strong. You represent the best of who we are, and that's hardworking, resilient, and forward-looking Iowans. But our work isn't finished just yet. So as I look kind of to my last year in office, my last legislative session, we really are, and I really am focused on leaving our state in the strongest position possible for the future, to hand that baton off and hope that next governor and legislature just blows all my records out of the water and continues to drive great success in this state. And so that's why I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you this afternoon, and just anything. I want to hear what's working, what's not, or I think that's part of the agenda. I hope I'm not changing it right now as I'm up at the podium. But you know, as we take this opportunity in this month to celebrate manufacturing, to celebrate the future of American manufacturing, I am really proud that, without a doubt, it continues to be built. That future continues to be built, and we continue to lead right here in the great state of Iowa. And again, just none of this would be possible if it weren't for businesses like yours, businesses that are investing in our workforce, businesses that are investing in our communities, and businesses that are investing in our economy and keeping us growing and keeping us strong. So from a very grateful governor, thank you for all that you do. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, so the governor would like you to tell her if there's things that you need, that she can help you with, and make sure you tell her who you are, your company you represent, and what you're doing. So we're gonna go ahead and start with our presenting sponsor, Aaron Ingberg.
Hi, Governor Reynolds.
Hi.
As a lifelong Iowa resident, I want to take this opportunity to say how proud I am of your leadership, and very excited about what you've done the last couple of years. It's been a very, very rough atmosphere, and I think you've handled it with really, really strong leadership.
Thank
So
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I was not prepared to talk, but I was told that we were talking. I am the Director of Business Development at Carly
Okay.
Nelson.
Yep.
And I have been now working for Carly Nelson for a year. I'm proud to say that I attended this event 4 days into my career at Carly Nelson last year. So it's good to see familiar faces. I think one of the things that I'm seeing going across the country is that or across the state is that I do believe that manufacturers have a positive attitude about what's going on in Iowa. We're talking to many businesses about expansions. We're proud to say that Dexter Laundry is going to expand, and we're going to work with them this next year. So I think that's positive.
Yay, it is.
And ultimately, I think we've heard a lot of thank yous for the manufacturing community. I was a part of the manufacturing community for the last almost 30 years. And from what I see, products are great, but people are what really make these manufacturers what they are. And my introduction to this community the last year has been great. The people are very strong. You have very, very strong advocates at ABI, to the Weatons, and other people here. And just really glad to be here. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited about the expansion. That's awesome. Thank you.
Our second presenting sponsor, Weaton Companies. Nate?
Put this all on the spot. I've already certainly, Governor, you know how much we appreciate you. I think I echo the comments of your leadership. I think, from our perspective, we're a small business, as you know. We live and thrive in the state of Iowa. We're a national company. I think one of the things I would love for you to talk about is how are we in business? It's certainly important for us to understand the state landscape and what we're doing in the state, but also a lot of us are affected federally and nationally. Maybe touch on your viewpoints and comment about how we make sure we're plugged in on the national landscape as well, because I think sometimes we miss that at the local level and don't understand it as well as we could and how to leverage it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's challenging times right here in the state, especially, agriculture is such an important part of our foundation as well. Manufacturing is our largest sector by far, but it's connected in so many different ways, and we've had really 3 tough years when it comes to agriculture, and our manufacturing is seeing the impact of some of that. And so, from a state perspective, I'll start there. We're in a really strong position. I didn't talk about realignment, but I did that in 2023. It was kind of prior to DOGE, where I really took a look at state government. It hadn't been, now you guys are in business. Can you imagine this? It'd been 40 years since anybody had even looked at state operations. And think of the pace of change that we've experienced over time. And so in doing that, in realigning government, I cut 21 agencies from my cabinet. We had licensing spread across 11 different agencies. We had permitting spread across 11 different agencies. And we've, through this alignment, pulled them into a one-stop shop, one agency that's time and money for each and every one of you, but ultimately was able to save taxpayers $250 million over 18 months, and we're just getting started. I mean, there's so much opportunity to continue that progress because now we have a direct line of sight into really the different agencies. We put all of our IT in one place, and I'll talk about this in the condition of the state, but the efficiencies and the savings that we're going to see just from doing that and moving forward will have a big impact on Iowans as well. And then we just need to get back to really recognizing what our core functions are, and that's what we should be paying for. Anything that's outside of that, there probably is a better way for us to do that. Tariffs have, of course, played a significant role in across the board. I mean, for farmers as well, that's playing an impact on, they want free and fair trade. That's really what they want. They don't want a handout from the federal government. They just want to get out there and find a market for their products. It takes, I think there's an opportunity to reshore a lot of manufacturing. I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to expand our current manufacturing, but it doesn't happen overnight. And some of the unintended consequences, I think, are there just aren't things that we can buy within the United States. And so we don't have any option except for to import some of those specific items from China or from some of the places that we've increased tariffs on. And so sometimes that impacts our ability to be competitive when we're trying to market our products as well. I think, in the interim, I think it just takes longer than they had anticipated. We're hoping we'll have a deal maybe later. We thought this week. It sounds like it might be kicked out a little bit further with India. I actually have led 2 trade missions to India in a year. We think there's a tremendous amount of opportunity there for our farmers, for everybody, but especially for our farm community. When you consider that China's kind of been offline for the last couple of years, really 6, if you go back to the previous administration. But so we need to. That's a country where we can pick up that lost in that capacity. So it sounds like they're close to a deal with them. So in the interim, we just have to, and we do, reach out to the administration often about trying to figure out with some of the supply chain that we're using that there isn't an option here right now. We've got to give us some relief for those products while we're working on getting those finalized trade deals done. So I'm popping all over the place. I don't know if that kind of answers some of your questions. What I do appreciate about this administration is almost every one of the cabinet members, they've given us their cell phone. I text Brooke Rollins probably daily because we have got to get this figured out. But EPA, administrator, across the board, and they are very receptive. So we just have to take advantage of that and make sure that we're talking about the impact, just the intricacies of some of the details, and hopefully helping them look at ways that they can provide a little bit of relief until we can get some of those supply chain issues straightened out. From a state perspective, I will say, even after cutting taxes and making historic investments in priorities I believe that are important to Iowans, whether it's childcare, workforce, housing, infrastructure, even after investing in those priorities and some of the results that we're seeing from the ag economy, we still ended our last fiscal year with a significant surplus. Our cash reserves are full, and we're sitting on about $4.2 billion in our taxpayer trust fund that will help spread out the cost of the tax reduction. So we're in a good place. We're fiscally sound, which a lot of states aren't. It will be another tough budget cycle because the one big beautiful bill did go retroactive. But we are in a good place to weather that, and there are a lot of states that aren't. I don't know, that was kind of a ping pong answer, but that's all the different things that we deal with.
Okay, Dexter Laundry.
Governor, thanks for taking the time just to talk to us and just listen to some of our concerns. So my name is Corey Westphal. I'm the Vice President of Operations for Dexter Laundry. Aaron, kind of opened it up by talking about the expansion we have coming. It's a $9.5 million project that is going to be very, very beneficial to our operations. So from our standpoint, some of the concerns we see, obviously the tariffs have a huge impact on what we do, not just in the supply chain that we bring in, but the units we export.
Yeah.
Our president right now is actually overseas at our largest international supplier in Australia, or international distributor, along with some of the other ones she's going to visit. She's kind of on a 2-week whirlwind tour. So that has an impact to us. So definitely any help would benefit us in what we're doing. And then the labor challenges that Aaron mentioned too, and a few others have too. How do we get people here? Because I think once they get here, they stay. But how do they get here is kind of key to what we do. We are still actively hiring on a pretty frequent basis right now because the growth for us is pretty optimistic heading into the end of this year and the start of next year. So, and then even beyond. So, and any help, again, if people aren't familiar with Dexter, we're an employee-owned company.
Yeah.
So any help along those lines is
continued support for the employee owners out there will definitely be beneficial and help us continue to succeed.
Thank you about ESOP. I'm a big advocate for that, especially when you consider keeping those companies in these local communities when they go to transfer. But so we worked to address some of the legislative issues, but that's been a while ago. And then I know when we did the tax reform, we were specific about making sure that we weren't causing any unintended consequences to our ESOP. So I think we got that taken care of. But if there are additional things that we could do that would be helpful, or just maybe helping, get the word out about the benefits of them, I'll make sure Patrick gets you a card. Or Lori knows how to get a hold of me, or Nate, either one. If you'll connect with my policy team, we'd be more than happy to take a look at those. Those are the kind of things really that I'm interested in. If there's things that we haven't done or could do, or your representative right behind you, be sure and you could pass him a note. Shipley, thank you for being here. We want to be a partner in this. We want to see our estate grow, and we want you to be successful. We don't want to be a barrier to that. Debbie has, it's almost like a dating game, stood up a new app where we're really reaching out to different states and enticing them to come to the state of Iowa. She worked with various communities. We did it kind of as a pilot project. It's been extremely successful. We can tell you where we're seeing people move in. We can tell you down to the county and the city in California that we're seeing several families move in, and we're still just not. And so she's expanding that and bringing employers into, so I think we're building out on that. I think that next phase goes into effect this year. And we just still don't do, I don't think, a good enough job about touting just the quality of life, the cost of living, our phenomenal school system. We have some of the lowest healthcare costs, and it's still hard and high, but some of the lowest in the country. We are number one in the country for millennial home ownership. Think about that. So a young family can move to this state and afford a home and a yard and a short commute and build an asset, and then feel very comfortable about our educational system as well. So we're working on that. And then even just upskilling and reskilling our existing and keeping the kids that we have. I mean, we want to make sure we're working on that and building those programs out. One of the things I asked Doge to look at was just workforce in general, because we're putting $400 million a year into workforce. And again, these haven't been really reviewed for years. And so I think they need to be more nimble, more flexible. We need to focus on maybe some infrastructure. We need to focus on reskilling and tie it to to the Manufacturing 4.0 that we stood up, to have that be a part of it, because it'll help our workers gain a different skill set, and it increases their wages usually at the same time. So it's a win-win, and are there things we can do to help offset some of the cost of working through some of those issues? So they've got some good recommendations that we're looking at, and it's not really, the money is there, we just need to make sure we're using it in the right way. And we, a 10-year bond I don't think isn't working. I think we can do things differently and get those same assets and dollars and partnerships with our businesses, but be more effective at what we're doing.
Okay, agro-industrial plastics.
Hi, Governor. So thank you for being here. Thank you for all you've done to create a pro-business, pro-manufacturing environment in the state of Iowa. There's no other state that we would prefer to be in. And I'll approach this a little bit differently. You know where I stand on workforce.
Yeah.
We haven't been hiring at a crazy level because the last couple of years have been a little slow. But we are very optimistic on what we see on the upcoming with new product development, great things going on at our customers, et cetera. So we're still positive. Just to give you more stories to take back, I would like everybody at Agro-Industrial Plastics to stand up for a minute. If you're with Agro, stand up. So one of my biggest things when I talk about manufacturing is what it takes to run a manufacturing company. So in this room alone, we have people, I won't tell them how old you are or how long you worked at Agro, but we have everybody from setup technicians to maintenance, to supervisors, to engineering, to purchasing, to HR, to customer service, to IT, to safety, to finance and accounting, to quality.
and to just being the boss. So it really does, I go back to it really does take an immense group of people and skill sets to run a successful company. So I just want to I like to give you stories to take around the state with you. But we're super proud of being in manufacturing because at the end of the day, we make stuff.
We make
And
stuff.
think
It's
that's
who we
really
are.
cool.
Yes.
We create value.
It's
and
who
we
we
make
are.
stuff.
Yes.
And none of us could do it standing alone.
Yeah.
So including being part of this community, which also doesn't stand alone. But we really appreciate all you've done and continue to do to make that possible.
Oh,
So-
thank you.
And we really have no issues, right?
She knows she has my ear anytime she wants it. She didn't get a hold of me, but thank you, Lori. I appreciate that, and just appreciate your continued investment in this community, in this state. So it's been kind of a roller coaster, but we're going to get through it. Started in COVID, so whew. Yeah, I do think I will. One of the things I'll be known for is the governor that dealt with the most disasters in her tenure. So I'm fairly confident I have the record for that. But hey, I'll give you a little bit of good news. This just dropped yesterday. We're not surprised by it, but there are only 3 states in the country that have recovered prior to pre-COVID educational attainment in literacy and math. And it's Iowa, Tennessee, and Mississippi. Only 3 states in the country that their kids are ahead of where they were prior to COVID. And it's because we kept them in school. So it's good. Mm-hmm.
Aaron, Lifestyle Technologies. Hi, I'm Monica Hadley, co-founder of Aaron. And our manufacturing is actually in Mason City, Iowa, not in Fairfield, but we have about 35 people that work here in our Fairfield office. Most of them, or several of them right there, and Mr. Gandy here. We do product development, engineering, design, HR, sales, administration, finance, out of Fairfield. And our manufacturing is worldwide. So we manufacture in Iowa, Texas, Mexico, China, and Thailand. We import components from China for our Iowa manufacturing. We've been really hurt by that. And we also import product from India. We've been really hurt there.
Yeah.
This is really the toughest time ever. And I started this business in 1996.
Yeah.
And this is the most challenging time we've ever faced.
Yeah.
And we have been very conservative and have a surplus from the past that will carry us through, but it is not an easy time. And so we're all feeling pretty stressed by that. And workforce is also an issue in Mason City. We want to increase capacity there, but we don't know that we can find the workers.
Well, we are laser focused on that, but anyway, like I would also, if we can get some of the contact information for some of the people, but as we look at redesigning how the workforce funding looks like, one of the things that and there were no metrics tied to anything, so you don't improve what you don't measure. I mean, you guys don't do stuff like that, so we need to be accountable too. If it's not working, then we just have to think differently about how we're trying to get to the end result. But the other thing that we were looking at, and I think this was a recommendation too, is to just having an employer board every 3 years review the programs that we have in place to say, how is this working? You're utilizing them. Can you utilize them? Are they too hard? Are the dollars not going to the right place? What changes could we make to make it more effective? Just more engagement, I think, with the business community. Elevate. We need to probably coordinate better with them. We just can't. We need to work together and really focus on what that end game looks like, and so we could maybe be more supportive of what they're doing and what does that look like moving forward. And I have talked to so many businesses. I've talked to the congressional delegation. They're trying to get a roundtable with Lutnick and some of the administration here, again, just to continue to hear firsthand from our employers. But when I have employers tell me, we're reducing our reliance on China. We are actually working on it. It used to be 10, 15%. I'm down to 5 or 4, but I can't control what I can't control. And so you need to at least understand that we are trying to reach kind of trying to drive toward what you're trying to establish in this country, but it just doesn't happen overnight, and it can't happen overnight. And I think it's just having an unintended consequences to what he's trying to do in so many of us. I mean, I was talking to Lennox, and because of what they're dealing with and what they've done, I mean, they're not competitive now with their Mexican counterpart selling into Canada. And so they're losing all kinds of sales. And so, we're trying to continue to drive those stories to get them in front of businesses so they can hear from you. We're trying to, but so is the delegation. But I know they're working on getting some roundtables set up here in the state, or even a Zoom. I don't care what it is. Just let me get some of our businesses on the line face-to-face and hear what's happening and what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish. I think that gets lost in this.
H&H Molds.
Hi, I'm Rick Herman, and Dad here is the founder of the company. And our customers, Agro-Industrial Plastics, are here, and Traffics. And then I brought my team. You guys want to stand up? So just like Lori was saying at Agro, it takes a whole team to finish your products and satisfy your customers. Now, we got a couple of young guys who are starting out, in apprenticeships.
Yeah.
And that's exciting, because, it's hard to get people to move into the area, so we're training from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're working on trying to get, maybe with Iowa making it more attractive. But there's a current issue is our health insurance. So we just got our renewals, and they're kind of going through the roof. And I don't know if there's any way, but is there anything we can do with the national, you governors get together, as far as the national government being shut down, because that probably has something to do with these increases?
Insurance?
Yeah.
Well, I think we've been seeing it over time. So I think, I feel like that's like another one of those issues that never seems to be able to be resolved. There's just so many areas that have to be addressed: transparency, actual cost, PBMs. I mean, the list is long. We have one of the lowest reimbursement rates in the country. I mean, so that goes to the hospital and the care there. So it's multiple things that are going into that. And yes, every single governor is talking about it, trying to figure out what we can do to be a part of the solution. It's probably more a federal issue than it is a state issue, to be honest. But we can still work with our congressional delegation. We can try to be innovative about ways that we could approach it. But that was a big piece of the conversation that I just had at the roundtable this morning for our local governments, for our businesses. So, those costs continue to escalate, then property tax continues to escalate, and, employing, just all of it is hitting at once. And so, I don't have an answer for you except for that we continue to look at it. I mean, this was happening long before the shutdown, so it doesn't have, they need to get back to work. I mean, let's just, they need to get back to work and get it figured out, so.
And that's what I appreciate about you. You didn't shut us down during COVID.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it did make a difference. And I couldn't, you talk about a team. Well, first of all, I couldn't do it without a team. I have an incredible group of individuals. Patrick, Laura, Mason are in the back, that every crazy idea that I have, they work like a dog to run it down to see if it'll work. And then if it doesn't, I back up and shoot in another direction about 90 miles an hour because I'm wired that way. And I couldn't do any of it without them. But we would not have got through COVID the way that we did if it hadn't been a partnership with Iowans. Every day, we got through it together. And, it just wouldn't have happened without everybody pulling in the same direction and just getting through it with so much uncertainty every single day. But I'm so grateful to Iowans and to our businesses for just hanging in there and keeping it going.
Okay, Traffic's devices?
Afternoon. Thank
Hi.
you again for taking time out to spend the lunch with us. Sorry. We have a lot of things. Our biggest manufacturers here in the state of Iowa, we're based out of California. Southern California is where Tariffs are hitting us hard. Right now, we have created a new project. We're working with a partner in France. This product actually goes across alleyways and walkways, so cars can't get into parades and start hurting people. It's a life-saving device. We can't get into the country because of the tariffs. We price ourselves out of the market.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. Also, within labor, we found a niche with the temporary protected status employees. Over here from Nicaragua, Cuba, and Haiti, and now we've lost all of them, which was about 5 to 7% of our employment, because they lost their status and had to go back. So we just need help with finding labor again. Current labor, the way it sits, is just the way we want to grow here, not only in Fairfield, but as a company, it's just not going to work out. So we'll probably have to look at other locations to start growing. So.
Okay. Patrick is right behind you. Make sure you get him your contact information. Thank you. The tariff comments, we'll shoot them up. So, we'll make sure that we're passing these along. And again, figure out some way to get somebody here to hear them. It's harder when you're face to face.
The Nelson.
Thank you for your leadership over the past several years. We're ready for the economy to get moving again. We're still here, we're still plugging, it's looking better. But on a personal note, several years ago, you stopped by the plant and let every grubby individual in there stand next to you and have a picture taken, and they still talk about it.
Oh.
So, very nice.
Thank you. That's my favorite part of the job, honestly. It's to get out of Des Moines. Nothing against Des Moines. But to get in the businesses and just kind of see firsthand what's going on, what are some of the barriers, just to have a conversation and to just say thank you to the men and women that are working in these facilities that are doing a great job. So thank you for that.
And this is our superintendent, Zach Weigel.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Thank you so much for being here again.
Yep.
I was in a different district when the pandemic took place, but we were one of those schools that stayed open as long as we could and did our very best, and we just appreciate your approach to that. I think from a school standpoint and where we're currently at and what we need in regards to support moving forward is just more exposure to the opportunities that our kids have in this great community.
Yeah.
We just moved here. I know at the state level with ICAP and DCAP, creating these academic plans for kids is really, really important. But unless there's leadership within the system to really take that and prioritize it, it hasn't gotten probably off the ground the way that it should. Again, nothing to the leadership that was here in the past, but ultimately we're in a spot now where I think that is a priority. One of our goals, we've got 100% goals at the district. At the high school, one of those is 100% of our graduates are either enlisted, enrolled, or employed. And we want them, just like you, to stay in this community. And so one of the things that we're gonna have, I know coming up soon, is a pretty large career fair at the high school, just a exposure piece. If you haven't been invited to be there or be a part of that, make sure you reach out to the high school or to Mindy at the chamber, because we've got all of that communication and information for that event. And then in the spring, we're gonna do another big piece with the STEM side of things at the high school as well. Just really excited about continuing to create better partnerships and more partnerships so we keep our kids here and become the destination district that we have identified as our vision. So we're excited about that, and obviously there's gonna be some things coming up over the next few weeks that could impact, again, your business from a tax levy standpoint. Obviously you have to do what's best for you and for your company, but know that bond vote that'll be on the ballot is exciting for us. We were short about 144 votes last year, just shy of that 60% number, and I do know that we've got the leaders in place and the board to really move our district forward, which is going to help every single one of you as well. So.
Thank you. Hey, if you get the date of your career fair, say that again, and Patrick will write it down. I'll have the apprenticeship team or the work-based learning team from the Department of Education set up a table. So if you're a business and you're there, will you just stop? It is not hard, but we are just, we're just doing everything we can to get that information out there, but we'll do a one-on-one with your business. We can help you stand it up, walk through what it looks like to make that happen. But she's great, and it's now part of our standards. It's part of the accreditation process, so we are really aligning the importance that you just laid out with how we are measured in education. And then last year, we actually changed the definition of work-based learning to, make sure that it was consistent, that it had enough rigor, that it applies for core credits. And so that gives more kids the opportunity to participate, to do what you're talking about, because it was an elective prior to that. And in a lot of these smaller to medium-sized communities, they're in everything, and so they just don't have the opportunity. We need to make those opportunities available to them during the workday as well. So we'd love to work with you to help get those stood up. So thanks for your excitement about that. I love it. It's so good for the kids. They engage so much when they have that hands-on opportunity. It's a game changer for them. They're doing math and they don't know they're doing math, and then they love it. And our women are doing IT and they never thought they could do it, and they love it. So it's fun.
Okay, let's give Governor Reynolds a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We have some flowers for you to take back, and there are meals for you and your staff that have been put together for you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. That's beautiful. Thank you. Our friends at Huddle.
Thank you again, Governor Reynolds, for your great keynote, and we're thankful for all that you do for our great state. Remember, the holidays are right around the corner, and we are still looking for community Santas. We have the suit and the beard and all that, so anybody can do it. If you are feeling like a Grinch, it's a great way to find your holiday magic. Watch for some very exciting changes to the holiday tradition on the square this year. Thanks to our friends at Greater Jefferson County Foundation, we will be doing some upgrading. A business after hours is tomorrow night at Hy-Vee. It has a Halloween theme. There's always massive amounts of food and drink and in-store specials, so we want to give them a little shout out. We would like to take a moment once again to thank the sponsors that made this event possible: Carl A. Nelson and Company, Weaton Companies, ServPro, and Dexter Laundry. A heartfelt thank you to Mayor Connie, Nate and Lori Weaton, and Governor Reynolds, and to each of you for being with us today. We also want to give a big shout out to the Fairfield Golf and Country Club for that incredible meal that I have not gotten to eat yet, but I'm sure that it looked lovely. Thank you, Chef Chris, and your entire staff for all that you have done. We'd like to let you know that all of the pie pumpkins in the center of your table will be donated to Golden Magnolia Sanctuary, and they will be used for soup this weekend. I missed a big day in the chamber world, in our chamber office this week, and I feel awful. My chamber administrator, Claire Reed, celebrated 1 year with our chamber, and we would like to recognize her in public for the many wonderful things that she has done. And finally, thank you for taking your time to celebrate with us. We are just so very thankful for each and every one of you, for all of the support for our events, for our office, and for everything that you do for our entire community. You are wonderful. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.